What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Showdown pre-lock show for Thursday night football. We got a barn burner tonight, a really, really good game. This week, joined by TJ Zwarych, coming in to give us some good picks. TJ, how's it going, man?
Doing well. It's a fun Thursday night for sports. I played 150 lineups for NBA. I ran a big single entry for NHL, and I'm playing a few for NFL tonight as well. And this is probably the best NFL game of the whole weekend. So fun Thursday night for sports.
I would agree. It probably is the game of the week, and we get it here on Thursday night for the Island game. Now, some would say they'd rather have it for the main slate, and I get it, but at least we got something good to watch, man. This is not just some boring football here. This is going to be really, really good. We'll get into it in just a minute. But as always, guys, it's a chat-driven show. So we're going to walk through some SimLabs, and we're going to walk through some player props and all that other good stuff. But fire off those questions because that's what we're here for. That's what we like to do. Just taking a general overview of this game, TJ. Green Bay and Detroit in a dome. Don't got to worry about any weather. Don't got to worry about any of that kind of stuff. Two pretty high-powered offenses. Definitely Detroit. Green Bay sometimes, falls a little behind. But they can be really good too. How do you see this game going?
Well, I hope it goes the way that I see it going because sometimes I differentiate with my lineup builds. So I usually play around a 20 entry max and then throw them in the Millie Maker as well. Today I did 20 entry max plus a 3 entry max and then a few other shots in the Millie Maker as well. And I'm basically playing them all the same. They're variations of similar lineups. And so it's an all or nothing style day for me today. I'm going very heavy on the running backs for Detroit, and I'm loading up on the receivers for the Packers. And I'm basically just loading up on all of the Detroit players, but I did a 20 entry max with one player in particular for Detroit as a captain in all of them. And then the 3 entry max is very Detroit heavy as well. So, I hope this plays as a game that Detroit pulls ahead early with the run game. They keep the ball on the ground and Green Bay's throwing it to catch up. And if it's not, if Josh Jacobs runs over Detroit and he's a big part of their game and Green Bay gets up early and Detroit is coming from behind, probably not going to be the best day for me. You are muted.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just talking to my wife in the background. I agree that if Josh Jacobs has a monster game tonight, then I'm probably in trouble, man. But
I have 0%.
I've yet to build exactly. I'll wait. I was waiting for that last update, and then it just gets a little too close, so I just want to wait till afterwards. But yeah, I don't see myself having a lot of Josh. I really like the passing games here. We'll talk more about that later. Don't forget, guys, we got the Plums play of the night coming up at the end. We got about 25 minutes till that time. So fire off those questions and, we'll see if we can do our best to answer them. Let's see if we got any real quick MVP options for FanDuel, please. You got any MVP, favorites over there on FanDuel?
Yeah, so I think it's super interesting because where you're not having to worry about any type of salary saving options, I think there's 5 different guys you could rank very similarly for MVP ownership or for MVP options. And so when I see Jared Goff and Jordan Love both up top projecting for probably going to come in, especially in single entry, small field stuff, for their upwards of 50% ownership, I definitely want to go elsewhere, especially since Josh Jacobs is 3rd and Amon-Ra St. Brown is 4th. My 2 favorite guys are 5th and 6th. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, my 2 favorite options at the MVP position. So that's where I'd be looking to go on FanDuel, considering there's 4 guys coming in for projected ownership higher at the MVP than the 2 Detroit running backs. Gibbs would be my preferred option, but Montgomery, I think, is even going to be lower owned. So those would be my top 2 options. And I don't think it's crazy to get way off the board either if you're playing a lot of lineups. Jaden Reed, Jameson Williams, Christian Watson, all of those guys I think are potential MVP options on FanDuel. this would be the type of slate where I think I would X out Love, Goff, and Jacobs at MVP, and then just try and get at least 10% of all of those other guys who are going to be coming in lower owned.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, which is I kind of agree with that in that when you look at these two passing games, yeah, the quarterbacks are good. There's a lot of good receivers in this game, but it seems like both these quarterbacks, both these offenses, they pick a guy every week. It might be a different guy every week, but they pick a guy every week, and a guy blows up. Whether it's Jaden Reed and his 2 or 3 touchdowns, or Dobbs is absent tonight, but Dobbs has his huge games every once in a while. And then on the side, Amon-Ra's not just like this guy that's the cream of the crop on that receiving core anymore. He's kind of like he has his good weeks, but so does Jameson Williams now, who's finding his path. And so I'm with you in that you might have to get lucky to find that guy, but that guy is out there that's going to surpass the quarterbacks tonight, and you just need to have the courage to play him on FanDuel, which is tough. So Scotty says so many great captain plays, lots of good MVP plays, a lot of great captain plays. I mean, that thing could go anywhere on DraftKings, the captain plays tonight. They're all over the place. Any love for Jameson at captain tonight? I'll let TJ answer, but my quick answer would be absolutely got some love for Jameson tonight at captain.
Yeah, I have no problem with Jameson Williams at captain whatsoever. He's not going to be one of my main guys that I'm going with, but I think it's a great option. If I was building another stack of lineups, another 20 entry max, I'd be getting into some Jameson Williams there. Absolutely.
Is Wick a fade? What do you think about Wick to Dontavian Wicks?
No, I don't think he is. I think everybody is really getting gun shy to play him because of how many passes he's been dropping, but he's still getting the opportunities and he's still super cheap. There's no Romeo Dobbs. I'm still getting some Dontavian Wicks quite a bit. I don't feel good about it. I'm getting to a little bit of Bo Melton just in case they go, hey, Wicks, we've had enough of you. We're going to give Melton the snaps. But as long as he's going to be out there playing for a team that runs as many 3 receiver sets as they do, Dontavian Wicks is going to be heavily in my pool, unfortunately.
Is he a guy that you would even consider at captain tonight?
Yes, I did one lineup in the Millie Maker, then I threw it in some smaller dollar single entry stuff as well, where I did Wicks as the captain and then loaded up on the Detroit players alongside of him. So he is, to me, my favorite cheap shot captain option if I'm looking to go below 5K. So it's definitely not my top, like in my top tier, higher dollar stuff, but I did throw a Wicks captain in the Millie Maker with some lower dollar single entry things.
Yeah, interesting. Mardon says he has Green Bay winning tonight. I do too, man. I probably fool's gold, man, a mistake here, but I think Green Bay can win this game tonight too. I think they do win this game tonight, but Laporta had 2 touchdowns last week. Laporta's starting to find himself again here. Like really good year last year, rookie year. This year, kind of struggled out the gates. He's starting to find himself. Trent, I agree with that. Is Hooker a good spend tonight? Is Hooker a good spend tonight?
I mean, I don't think it's ever a good spend. I think it's always a pretty dangerous. Like it's GPP only, when I'm sorry, I may be going a little bit too deep into the bit for people that's if you're missing it, but GPP only, like high risk, high reward in that situation. Definitely not something to play with cash.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, fire off those questions, man. Get those questions cranked up. I want to turn to SimLabs now because we got the update in. So let's take a look at some SimLabs. Settings. We're gonna go large field. Obviously, we do. I like my results range to sit right in the middle. I want a little bit of variety in there, but need to get some different lineups. Do you have any advanced settings you feeling like you want to play tonight? Anything from this game stands out that's out of the ordinary that makes you want to change the settings?
No, I don't think anything for this part that I'd want to go heavily changed on. I think I like keeping the idea of keeping the correlation low because I want to play both Detroit running backs together as much as possible. So maybe just raise the upside and the a little bit, and that would be all I think I'd need for this slate. The one thing I would probably do is right off the bat go to the exclude section in the just regular settings and put no, you know what? No, never mind. I take it back. I kind of want to just see what the sim spit out on its own.
Okay, we can do that, but who are you thinking of excluding from the player pool?
I was gonna say Josh Jacobs and putting him at the captain, like exclude him at the captain at the very least, but maybe even flex.
That's yeah, you just want to cut him out altogether. All right, let's see what we got here. I like to look at it like this, side by side. Let's take a look at the exposures first and foremost. The captain spot. Yep, this is kind of where I've been going with, or I've been seeing a lot of the stuff going today is Amon-Ra at captain more than anybody else so far. And I get it. So get that. What do you think about Amon-Ra as is that your favorite captain tonight or somebody else jumping out to you?
It's not. I have a few guys ahead of him today, actually, that I'm going with. Initially, I didn't like the idea of going to Amon-Ra captain at all. I wanted to go to one of the cheaper guys. I've softened on that stance a little bit because this is like super soft pricing this week. Did you notice that if trying some builds yet that like there are so many more good players in the 5 to 7 and 6 range than I feel like we usually have. So often that range is just dead, leading us to want to spend all the guys up top and take some punts on some ugly guys in the 200 range. But like Jameson Williams, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, both tight ends, it's a nice spot for the mid-range today. And so that has led me to getting to be more willing to get to Amon-Ra St. Brown up top than I thought I would need to. But I do prefer going elsewhere off of Amon-Ra St. Brown, actually.
Yeah, Amon-Ra is always good, but I agree. My Plums, spoiler alert, my Plums player tonight is not going to be Amon-Ra, so we'll see that. Now, this thing's giving us a whole lot of Dontavian Wicks and flex. Would you be comfortable with, you just said we kind of don't need to go bottom of the barrel with salaries if we don't want to because there's a good mid-range build out there. Is that too much Wicks for you? 54% in flex. Is that too much? Would you cut that back? How would you handle that?
No, I think that's fine. This is a game where I'd want to make sure I have a Packers receiver in every single lineup I run. So Wicks, Reed, and Watson would probably be closer to even together for me. So I'd want to get a lot more Watson than the Sims is currently giving us, and maybe bump down a little bit of Wicks, a little bit of Reed to get that. Even if I'm not playing Wicks, Reed, Watson, I think I would probably want to play one of Tucker Kraft, Chris Brooks, Bo Melton, Malik Heath, somebody that is a pass catcher. I know Brooks is a running back, but somebody that is a pass catcher for Green Bay, as opposed to doing a one-off with Jordan Love or a one-off with one of their kickers, a one-off with Josh Jacobs. I would rather go to one of these receivers if I'm building a Detroit onslaught. So I'd want to make sure I get at least one of them in every lineup.
Interesting. You get so you were talking about Josh Jacobs, possibly excluding him. How would you feel when you ran this thing and it spit out 32%? What's your next move? Is that like something you can't deal with? You just can't live with that, man. You got to get rid of that. Get X out all the Josh Jacobs and then just keep his captain teams, or what?
If I were running 150, I don't think I would X out my Josh Jacobs. I think I'd keep him in there, but I'm playing about 30 lineups total, including in the 3 entry maxes and the 20 entry max and a single entry that I'm doing. And I have 0% Josh Jacobs. I don't have him in a single one.
Man, yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I don't feel like it's his game. I feel like, but it's a showdown. It's one game, and it's tough to fade a guy who's been that hot for him.
It does feel like I should do like a, throw in $100 single entry hedge for
I hate the
all the
hedge.
lineups I don't have him in.
Man,
I hate the hedge too, though.
I
That's
don't
the
like the
thing.
hedge, man.
Where it's
I
like
don't
Jacobs
like
at
it.
captain and then load up on the Detroit guys, something like that. But I'm just not doing it. I'm going no Jacobs, and it is very scary.
So I'm looking up and down the SimLabs, what it spit out with some of this stuff. And sometimes it'll give you some really weird guys near the bottom, like throw some guys in there that you hardly even ever hear of. We know who Brock Wright is, but are you really using Brock Wright tonight? Do you X these guys out, or do you just go ahead and roll with it, man?
No, I don't think I'd be going to Brock Wright, but if I was hand building, but I don't know that I'd necessarily X him out either, just because it's like you said, a showdown. Backup tight ends can always get some touches in a showdown situation, especially on a team like Detroit that runs so many 2 tight end sets because they like running the ball. All that takes is one play action near the end zone where Brock Wright just happens to be wide open. So I wouldn't necessarily X him out. I'm not getting to him at all, but I wouldn't necessarily kick him out of a sim. Tim Patrick is a name down low I don't mind.
Ooh.
But I think the sneakiest cheap play that I'm going to be getting to is going to be Chris Brooks, backup running back for Green Bay. I'm playing no Josh Jacobs, so one that leans into, hey, if he happened to get hurt, Chris Brooks has been getting increased snaps each week. But even outside of that, most of my lineups are built for a script that it would be beneficial if Detroit gets out to a large lead. So if it's something like they put a backup in to catch some passes on third down or in 2-minute drills, things like that, or if it gets really out of hand and Brooks just see some extended run, I think he's a very interesting play for tournaments.
Yeah, he gave us 10% Chris Brooks, that's nice, man. That's not something you're going to come up with on your own typically when you're hand building and just, but it gave us 10% Brooks. Out of those lineups, I'm looking at the one with Jordan Love playing catch up in captain, checking it down to Chris Brooks. That one's kind of interesting, and a lot of the Detroit offense running it back with it. Yeah, there's some interesting builds. You can X out of the Chris Brooks and look at some of that. Now, it didn't give us – it went way underweight compared to the field of Jahmyr Gibbs in flex. So we're going to have to take advantage of the captain teams. You feeling good about Jahmyr and captain?
I love Jahmyr Gibbs and captain today. I'd say he's probably my second favorite captain on the slate. He's the one I'm going to in my higher dollar stuff. He's not my Plums play of the night.
Okay.
But he is my second favorite play of the slate.
What about this little ditty right here where it's Jahmyr and David Montgomery as your only 2 Lions?
That's a very beautiful team.
It is a good looking
might
team.
have something that looks very similar to that. I think I would want to go. How much salary is left in that one? 500. I would probably prefer John Bates over Brandon McManus. I think Noto wrote up a really good note in his grind down today that Bates, not only has he been lights out this year, they do like to go for it on 4th down, so that takes some stuff away from him. But Bates has been lights out kicking the ball, and McManus, even though they're maybe less likely to gamble on 4th down in a usual situation than the Lions, you really can't be settling for field goals against the Lions. You settle for field goals against the Lions, you're going to lose. And so maybe I'm putting too much faith in what a coach should do instead of what a coach will do. And I'm thinking there's no way you can be settling for field goals, so I'm underweight on McManus. But again, that's not necessarily what a coach will do. That's what I think he should do. So McManus is a guy that could burn me tonight because I'm going to be underweight.
Yeah, there's just so many things you can do with the SimLabs and play around with it, and just do like this right here. Look at it, run some builds, and just let it build some lineups for you and pick out ones that just look good, feel good. You don't, no sweat. You don't have to sit there and click a bunch of buttons on DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever. It's just good stuff. But yeah, I think that's pretty much. I think that's the SimLabs in a nutshell tonight. I think that's some pretty accurate stuff. That's, it's a pretty good view of what people are doing tonight in some of these builds and some stuff you can get away with. So I like that. Now, let me see if we got any questions. All right, questions on Malik Heath, anytime touchdown. You like Malik Heath tonight at all?
Probably not for an anytime touchdown bet. I do have him in one of my 20 entry max lineups.
Another prop question here. Jahmyr Gibbs, 18.5 for the longest run. Do you want that over or under?
Look, that's better if you could get it earlier in the week at 16.5. But Jahmyr Gibbs over on his longest run prop. Shout out to Rich Rebar on the Pick Six podcast. He brings it up every week. It's been the best bet of the season. It's gone over in every single game except for one this season. So Jahmyr Gibbs always over on the longest rush. 18.5 is cutting it close, and it gets where it gets a little scary. But he's been the most explosive running back in football this year. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry included. He just doesn't get as many snaps.
Wow. Do you like Kraft or Laporta more as a captain tonight?
Kraft.
Oh, okay. Going Kraft. More down. Both these teams are stacked with talent. I agree. Heath is greater than Wicks. I don't know about that one, Lip. Are you guys going over under on Laporta? His production has been all over the place. What do you like? If you're, I guess that he's maybe overweight, underweight on Laporta or props, whatever you want to. What do you think? Over under on Laporta tonight in this matchup?
Interesting. Zach Collins not starting for the Spurs, and they're just going Sohan at the 5. Vucevic is going to absolutely smash them today. We will have some time to adjust that after we get out of here. That doesn't start for 23 more minutes. I will be underweight on Laporta. I think he hasn't been getting that many looks in this offense. And the 2 touchdown thing that was great for him on Thanksgiving, but I don't know if we can count on that every week. So I'm going underweight on Laporta.
Nicholas, does 3 inactives from the Lions offensive line do anything? What? Do anything for Jacobs?
I think maybe he meant Lions defensive line.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, listen, Jacobs. I mean, we've kind of talked about Jacobs. I think we both don't necessarily.
Funny thing is, they have 3 offensive linemen inactive and 3 defensive linemen inactive. But I think that helps Jordan Love more than it helps Josh Jacobs.
I mean, I'm just more on the passing games than I am the running games, regardless. And as far as the Lions' offensive line injuries, they've been a little bit beat up for a while now. I think it's I think their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, is good enough. He knows what he's doing. He'll get the ball out early. He'll put his people in the best spots possible. So it doesn't really do a lot for me, to be honest. And usually I'm all over that kind of stuff. But Lions are a really sharp club. They know what they're doing, and they'll figure some things out. Let's see. Yeah, saw the Spurs. Collins not starting. We got that one. All right. Are the Chrome extensions gone? I don't know. Mine was working earlier. Maybe
it hasn't been working from some people. Email support@rotogrinders.com. They'll make sure it's logged and they'll get you all sorted.
Why is the sim so high on Wicks rather than Patrick? Because I think there's I don't know what the Sims. I can't speak for the Sims, but Wicks has more upside. Like, he just does. That's all there is to that. Patrick's okay, but Wicks has more upside. But we need to get to some player props, TJ. Let's bring up my screen again. We're gonna do one on air here. Splash Sports. If you don't know, they're into the player prop game now. Good stuff. They got some good numbers over here. Usually, it's props and pick 'em package. It's called Quick Picks. They got everything you want. All this stuff you see up here at the top of the bar. Anything you want on any other site is here. And like I said, I think you get some really good numbers, and the numbers don't move nearly as fast as the other sites. Like, so a couple people put in some overs or unders on some players, and they'll snap move on other sites. Over here, they will hang around for a while. So tonight, let's think about a little prop package we can put together tonight that I can enter. That is going to be our thing here on Splash Sports on these quick picks. So I'm going to go to you first and see if you have a prop or two or anything that correlates, or maybe just one thing on its own that you feel good about tonight. Let me have it.
So first one I want to go with that we've already talked about, as long as it's there, is in that longest rush category, and find ourselves some Jahmyr Gibbs. 17.5, perfect.
Oh,
Hasn't
see,
gone up to 18.5 there.
Yeah,
We want to hit more on that one. That's my favorite of the day.
It doesn't move as fast over here. So we got it at 17.5. That's kind of a standalone thing. Anything else?
I think probably looking to, let's do a little longest theme today. Let's look at the longest reception. See what we can get for Christian Watson.
23.5.
If he catches the ball, it's longer than 23.5. Like,
I agree with that 100%.
On Christian Watson there.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And so
Jameson Williams too, even.
Man, I was thinking about that. I'm torn. I want to do 3 teams here, 3 player props. And I'm torn between Jameson just doing the whole longest thing, which is great. That sounds fun, big plays. And then I go back to the passing yards. I love both these quarterbacks' passing yards tonight. So I'm kind of torn there.
I like Love more than Goff, I think, just because I could see Detroit having the ability to lean on the run after foregoing it last week and almost losing to the Bears, whereas I don't know that Green Bay will have the option.
Let's go with Love. Let's do that one. Let's put Love in there. Let's put that one in for 50. I like that one. It gave us some good numbers. All right, we're gonna rock that one, and hopefully we.
Do we just lose Chop?
Check it out.
Okay.
Use the RG. Use the RG code, and you'll get some free dollars on your hands. But it's that time, bro. We got about 2 minutes left. Plums play of the night. Clear us out of that screen. Give us a 2-man shot here, and get us rocking. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. That did go through, by the way. We got the confetti falling, so we got that in. Give it to me. Plums play of the night. Who you got?
So here's where I will say that I've been saving this one. I've been trying to skirt past it, keep it flying under the radar. But I think that David Montgomery is breaking the slate today. I think 2 touchdowns for David, hopefully getting over 100 yards. He's my favorite captain. I got him in the 20 entry max I did. He is the captain in all 20 entries. So I am all aboard the David Montgomery train. I have no issue playing he and Jahmyr Gibbs together. Those 2 are my 2 favorite captains. Reminder for the people that last time Chop and I were on a Showdown show together, who were our we broke the slate with our Plums play of the night.
Yeah, they were good. I don't even remember who. We've had so many good Plums plays.
D-Hop and Kate-Hop, man. Kate-Hop.
Yeah. I hit Mims the other night. Mims, that was a beautiful Mims, 93-yard touchdown. Oh, speaking of Mims, and what Mims does is catch long touchdowns. We almost gave my Plums play away tonight. Almost here. You just hit on it a second ago. Big play guy, Christian Watson. All right, we talked about the defensive line injuries in the chat a little bit. I think there's going to be just a hair extra time for Jordan Love to sit back in that pocket and let Christian Watson get downfield. And I think he's going to hit him tonight with maybe a couple of potentially long plays. My Plums play of the night, Christian Watson on the turf, in the dome, no weather issues, catch the ball. See you later. That's my Plums play of the night. So get that in, guys. I don't see any more questions in chat that are new. It's 30 minutes till lock. We're going to go and check on some NBA stuff, finish putting in these lineups. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back on Monday night with some more Showdown pre-lock. For TJ, I was your host, Chop. Good luck in those GPPs and on those player props. Until next week, we're out of here.